Every car guy's got a dream, and this Fort Worth Metal Garage is that dream come to life.
Clean cars, clean design, clean colors. This one has it all. Let's show you around. Welcome back, Pack. This is Adbeel from WolfSteel Buildings, and today we have Jared and Dominique on the show. What's up, Dominique? How you doing today? Jared, welcome back to the channel, man.
Thank you for having me. This time around, there was a dress code, so I did come prepared. Adbeel wouldn't allow me back on if I didn't have a hat on, so.
Hey, we're in Texas, man. That's the state we service. We gotta dress the part. Man, I'm just really entertained here with Dominique. Jared, talk to me. What are we gonna showcase today in the channel?
We're gonna showcase an awesome building, a great color combination, a huge door here on the front. It's got a car lift, an awesome porch. You probably can't see it right now. You'll see it in the B-rolls, and it's a great size for a 2-car garage.
And that's not it. We also have a giveaway, and the magic question is, what color gray is this? Okay, we offer multiple shades of grays depending if it's an AG panel or if it's a PBR panel. All right, so all you have to do is leave a comment, the first one, and we ship out the gift. Aside from that, guys, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Follow us on all our social media accounts. You have TikTok?
We do have TikTok.
Yeah? Oh, we do have TikTok. Let's get this video going.
Texans, we're giving away a 30 by 40 metal building completely for free. If you ever dream of your own shop, garage, workshop, man cave, you name it, this is your chance. We are launching our biggest giveaway ever. For details on how to enter the giveaway, head over to our WolfSteel Buildings Facebook page.
Alrighty, guys, let's get this tour started. Now, Jared, talk to me. What size are we looking at for the main structure here?
For this main portion, we're looking at a 25-foot, 10 inches by 36-foot deep and 12-foot tall.
Now, you mentioned 25, 10 inches. Why? Yeah,
Why?
What did that happen, or what happened?
Well, originally when we came out, because the foundation was already here, when we came out to measure, that was actually the size of the top of the slab.
Oh,
So,
okay. So that was the actual measurement.
Which is not really a standard size building for us, right? So we just had to custom fabricate it to a 25-foot 10 to be able to fit the slab that was already there.
Ah, that makes sense. So earlier I was speaking with our client, and our client, I think it's his son or son-in-law, does concrete work. So they did their concrete for them, which they did a great job. So if you're gonna provide your, do your own concrete work, we do foundation inspections, right? So that's what we did. We did a foundation inspection. We come and did the measurement. That's actually really important because in this case, the width was short by 2 inches. Since we fabricate our own metal buildings, we went back to Weatherford and we, custom fabricated that dimension. Because the width, we can't make modifications
On site.
So if we wouldn't have came over and to do like a foundation inspection, measured it out, we probably would have had to make modifications, and that adds additional costs because now we got to take that back and come back out. So just keep that in mind. That is a foundation inspection.
Foundation inspection. It's a foundation inspection that needs to occur prior to leaving our planning department. That way we can get all that situated.
Yeah, but one thing, there's a question that clients ask is like, why don't you come and do a foundation inspection before I pour my concrete?
Okay.
Yeah, more on that side. Do you know the answer? I know the answer.
Okay. The reason is sometimes when we go out there, let's say we go out there on a Friday, right? We're measuring technically. The only thing to measure is the stakes, right?
Yeah.
The forms, the everything, right? We can go out there and measure on a Friday or a Thursday or a Wednesday, and we really don't know when they're gonna pour. So what happens is, let's say they pour the concrete a week after. It could have rained. Those forms could have shifted, especially when they're pouring. There's so much going on that those forms can shift. They can open up. There's so many variables. once you pour it, it's not really gonna move on you.
Not gonna move.
It's gonna cure. It might, you might get some hairline cracks, but that's about it.
Yeah,
know?
that makes sense. So it's just we have to do the foundation inspection afterwards, because when we measure, we get the true measurement. We go back to the shop and we just make it the exact measurement. So in this case, like there wasn't an extra charge for our client to do any modifications to the building. Okay, and then what pitch do we have here, Jared?
This is a 312, if I'm correct.
312 pitch.
It's a 312, yeah. So down the center, 26, 13, 26, 39, 3'6". It's a 15 foot, 9 inches down the middle.
Hey, really good math.
6 inches down the middle.
So basically, a pitch is just how much peak you're actually looking at, which I think this one's really good. This is 312 pitch. What is the sizes or pitches that we offer?
On this type of construction on a tubular, we do standard 312, 412, 512, and 612. So obviously, the higher that first number, the steeper the pitch, So all it means is going back to my 5th grade, for every 12 inches you go in towards the center, it either can go up 3 inches, 4 inches, 5 inches, or 6 inches. That's all that means. Some people prefer it for aesthetics. At least down here in Texas, up north, it's more of a necessity. It's
get the snow,
falling. Or just everything to fall off. I mean, honestly, also it can also help with
heat,
no leaves, but mostly water. How fast the water runs off.
And then the colors that we have here are definitely going to be light stone. And then you said old. Well, this is pewter gray. Okay, pewter gray and old town gray are basically the same thing, just named differently. But basically, it's the lighter gray. The wainscoting, which I'm going to ask you some questions on that, Jared, and then the roof. The gutters are not pewter gray or old town gray. Talk to me, Jared. Why?
Well, the thing is that if you put a magnet to the sheet metal, it'll stick, right? If you put a magnet to that gutter, it's not going to stick. It's an aluminum gutter, and the reason is it's a seamless gutter. So we have one crew that comes out and does the.
There it is.
There you go. Thank you.
No, it's just because of the ridges.
Right. Before he threw me off, the sheet metal is a steel. It's a true steel, right? I mean, it's thin. It's a 29 gauge sheet metal, but it's true steel, right? Also the frame, right?
Correct.
But the gutters are aluminum. They're done by a different crew. And it's also a different color chart. Part of our process is we try to match them up as close as possible. So if you get as close to it as possible, you'll see that it's not a true match.
It's not a true match, but it looks very, very similar.
It's very similar.
And that's for our tubular products. For red iron, it's different. Red iron, the whole trim system is connected with the gutter system. So all the color is basically matching. For tubular, we use residential gutters, because for tubular, most of our tubular products are in residential settings. And so these gutters basically match very, very, very much with home gutter systems, which in my opinion, it still looks like the colors are like really matching.
Also, another thing, we have had some clients that they get like the wainscot right here, like the stone wainscot, and it sticks out a little bit, and the gutters kind of do this.
Oh yeah,
action.
Around over it.
Yeah, and that also gives it a really nice look.
A nice like aesthetic.
Another thing is this big tree. The client did not want to cut that tree down.
Yeah, he planted it about 30 years ago when he got his home. He mentioned it was just he planted those 2 trees, and they were like this small, and now they're beautiful.
I mean, it's a huge tree now, but with trees come
leaves,
and with leaves come clogged gutters. So this building has gutter guards, so minimal maintenance.
I don't think it's a want. I think it's a need. And it's not. It's the price for adding just the gutter guards is not a lot, but it's definitely gonna prevent you from maintenance long term, especially if you have a tree like this. Let's talk about gutters, Jared. Since we're already in that topic, what do we do on our tubular builds when we do our own gutters? Because like I'm gonna tell you the issues that before we used to do gutters, and just my experience doing metal buildings. I've had clients tell me, hey, like I added gutters later on, and they started ripping my panel. They can't really attach them, and they're not sturdy enough attached to a tubular metal building. Why is that, and how do we do things differently?
That's a great question, Adbeel. And I have a great answer for you. No, so pretty much that eave trim right there that runs the whole side of the building, and honestly, it also runs up top here on the gable. What it is it's like I said, it's a 29 gauge, depending on what gauge of sheet metal you get, right? But it's for this building, it's a 29 gauge, and what happens is the gutter goes up against it, and they screw through it and into the trim. Right. The problem is that trim is, I mean, it's strong, it's durable, but it's not true framing,
Yeah.
So what happens is you get a great amount of rainfall, all that water's kind of weighing down the gutter, and all it's doing is putting a lot of tension and pressure on that piece of trim. Eventually, that screw's gonna start to loosen up. Never had it happen that I've never had it happen that it'll just completely rip out. Maybe you have up north, but I've never seen it. But what we do is we'll add along the whole eaves where that gutter's being attached is a 18 gauge frame member, like an actual true steel that screw can go through, and it'll give it a lot more, I guess you could say, meat to hold on to.
Yeah, absolutely. So you don't rely on the straps. So the straps are how you tie in the gutters as well onto the fascia. However, relying on the straps, it starts to rip into your panels. So instead, by having a nice solid fascia, then that allows it to be able to tie in the gutter in a very more like sturdy way.
I think there's a roofer's joke that they say never tie your ladder to the gutters, because like you're going up the ladder and then the gutter like.
Oh, yeah, okay. Jared, I wanted to talk about this door. This is an 18-foot wide, 10-foot tall overhead door. It's insulated, the R6 with the vinyl backing, and then we definitely got the garage door opener that we installed. But the biggest thing I want to talk about here with Jared, we got an 18 by 10. Client could have chosen to do two 10 by 10s, but instead we got an 18 by 10. Talk to me, pros, cons, what is your opinion? I know I spoke with our client, I'll mention some of those things that he said that he loves about this door.
I guess pros, I love the aesthetic of it, right?
Oh yeah.
But that's my personal. B would be, you would have like a column right here. If you were to do two doors, you'd have to have minimum of at least like 1.6 to 2 feet of a center column right here. Maybe, based off how his driveway is laid out, this door you'd be able to slide right in, but this door over here, you'd have to kind of turn this way and drive in. It just kind of depends there. I prefer the huge open, like, don't worry about it at all. Another thing is that center space you'd have to pull from either of these sides.
That makes sense.
So you'd have to shift the door over that way or this way. Instead, just have one big door.
From a design standpoint, when you do have like two 10 by 10s, and because you have something in the middle, like a space, but you also wanted to fit the door, it also limits the ability to fit the door unless you put the door in here in the center for this width. Like two 10 by 10s, and then like it makes it where like almost the only way you can fit it is if you put your door here because of this space.
You'd have 5 feet right here. Your door would be more towards that way, and this one would be more
towards that way. Also, when you have a column, especially when you got like wide vehicles, and you got the tow mirrors, then you got now something that you're constantly looking and worrying about when you're backing up and driving in. So that's the pros, and that's actually one thing I asked our client, because you can see the two vehicles, which we'll talk about the inside. I asked our client, how easy is it to navigate through here with an 18-foot wide and two, not just any vehicle, two Mercedes vehicles, and he said no, it's super convenient.
One Chevy.
The what?
One Chevy.
One Chevy, and you're gonna see what we're talking about. The colors, Jared, this service door, how are they matching, Jared? Talk to me.
Yeah, so what we did was we custom ordered this one. The client got his own walk-in door, and then he painted it. Yeah, he painted it. He pretty much, we gave him a little sample of the sheet metal, took it to Home Depot, got the paint, and then he painted it. Yep.
Painted it.
Yeah, we installed it. He provided it. He did want an in-swing door specifically. Told him, get a pre-hung door, which is usually the best type of door for like metal buildings. Definitely have them on site for when we're installing them. That way we can, set the frame up accordingly. Especially since we're installing them, we require them to be on site, during the installation.
And that's because sometimes the measurements that you see like online, if you're like shopping for a door, like say at Home Depot, and it says the measurement, that's not necessarily the true measurement, and therefore having the door on site allows us to frame everything out perfectly. I know you're going to talk about the French door over there, which is also beautiful. But as far as the colors, the standards are typically not going to match like sheet metal stuff. So painting them afterwards is definitely a big, like, I love how seamless this looks.
Another thing is he specifically asked me, I think in gutter terms, it's a B-type outlet. Pretty much, he didn't want the water draining out to the sides. He wanted it draining out to the front.
And you can tell here because he's got his pool set up, and you can see the slope of the water, and all this water is draining this way and it's flowing out that way. For that reason, how we position the gutters, you can actually let us know, hey, I want the outlet to point a certain direction. We've done it a couple of times already. That is one thing to really keep in mind, that in our process, when you purchase a metal building, it doesn't have to be exactly everything, like all the details set in stone. You go into the department after your permitting department, because during the permit side, there can be changes that happen based on the requirements and restrictions of your permit department. After that, it goes into our planning department. In our planning department, that's where all the plans get done, from framing, from architectural to foundation. What you will see in that is exactly what's gonna come out. So that is the point there where you can point out something like this. Hey, I would like, my outlet to point outward. And that little detail gets added to the plans and notated to make sure that when we come here, all we're doing is just executing.
He said some things can change from permit to planning. It was kind of funny. We had a client, I think they were getting like a 3,600 square foot building, but permitting came back and they're like, hey, you can only do like, I think it was
1,000?
Yeah, it was like very limited square foot space. That changed tremendously.
That changed tremendously. We had another one recently this week, was they allowed a certain amount of accessory structures or certain amount of square footage, but they considered a pool an accessory structure and part of the square footage, which was like something I had not heard about, but that limited that the client couldn't even build at all. It's just the terminology or the definition can change based on cities and counties. Yeah, that was interesting. I know our client has 2 windows, which is actually really good, because if he's in the inside, he can be looking out and seeing, like his kids or his family members from the inside and just checking up on anything.
Also aesthetics,
Aesthetics, yeah.
Natural light.
What size is this lean-to, Jared? Talk to me.
It's a 14'2" by 13'6" long lean-to.
Why is it this size specifically?
I mean, there's not a specific reason. What happened was when we came out and, we measured the main building slab, he was like, hey, I want to do a porch here, for my family. Mm-hmm. The garage, that's for me.
Yeah.
My family's not allowed in there, but, they can chill out here on the porch. So he pretty much he's like, hey, I don't want to tie into the foundation of the pool, this little portion right here. What's the best size we can do for this? And, we just kind of measured, ran some tapes. It was the 3 of us, and we just kind of brainstormed, and this was the best size. He also kind of told me, he was like, hey, I want to do something a little bit more aesthetic than just the standard, like, sheet metal or like, post and steel columns.
Galvan loom post.
Yeah, so we ended up doing this cedar post
installation. Is this, we could say, like a crack on a cedar post? Is this normal? Is this okay? Or
that is absolutely not okay. No, it's pretty normal on cedar.
Just like a hairline crack on concrete. Usually once it settles and it sets, you're gonna see some small cracks. And if you work with wood and you're a carpenter and you're watching this channel, is that normal? Let us know in the comments. And then the other thing that we need to point out is we got spray foam on a lean-to on the outside. There's no other better answer than asking a client, did this work for you? And he said yes. I asked him earlier and he's like, no, it works phenomenal because it just keeps this area here cooler. And now that I think about it, I've been under metal buildings, definitely like a lean-to, and without any insulation, I mean, you feel that heat. You're out here, you're grilling, it's the afternoon, you're grilling, and you got a hot panel with because sheet metal in general is a thermal conductor, okay? So it transfers if it's hot, it's gonna transfer it.
Yeah, and, he would tell me, he's like, yeah, I run my thermal gun on it, and you can tell the difference between insulated, panel and non-insulated. So, it makes a big difference. Like you said, you're out here grilling your steaks, and it's messing with your internal temps. I I wouldn't want that.
Yeah.
Also, another
The
thing
steak
is
got to be cooked.
if you're out under here and it's raining, you know, it's also a, how do you say, a noise reductor. Yeah, it helps reduce the noise of just the rain hitting the sheet metal.
So we actually, Ed and I, experimented that.
How do y'all, what's the sound like? What does that sound like to y'all? Is it louder? Is it not loud? Talk to us.
So we were just having that debate, okay? So we definitely have found that it's loud in here when it rains. But the noise is like more damp than outside.
Correct.
Right?
Yes.
But we feel like it's from the echoing that the sound that
The
does
walls,
come in is
yeah.
just bouncing off here. But before we go in there, client provided this door.
Oh yeah, he provided this door. We installed it. It was on site at the time of
on
installation.
site.
You're gonna see from the inside it's white, and that's because it's a white door. Painted it afterwards.
Dude.
I was gonna ask you, Bill.
Yeah, ask me.
Wouldn't it be worse if it didn't have spray foam? Wouldn't the same Bassin effect happen?
I mean,
Let's let the comments answer that.
hey, if you have a metal building you're watching, let us know. Let us know how it feels if you have your doors open and then closed, and does the noise get louder or not?
A new project can be tedious. Finding the correct contractor for your concrete, building, insulation, etc. It's a lot. We know. We've seen it from various customers, which is why we've combined everything in one place just for you. We handle everything for you to make sure you have your building your way. We do tubular and red iron metal buildings, bolt-ups to weld-ups, concrete, site preparation, demolition work, polished concrete, polyura, or concrete coatings, permitting assistance to make sure you are clear with the city and HOA, various insulation options like spray foam, fiberglass, and solar reflective insulation. Gutter system, custom accessories to stand out against your neighbor, custom overhead and roll-up doors, cedar posts or encasements, various service door options or windows to match your aesthetics, mezzanines or balconies available, or bolt-ups to give you that additional vertical space. Electrical is in the beta and available close to our office here in Fort Worth, Texas. Limited landscaping options and masonry to match your home or get that HOA approval. Everything you need in one place. Whether you're a business owner needing warehouse space, or a car enthusiast needing a garage, or just anyone looking for a strong custom metal building, we've got you covered. Our clients choose not because we're the cheapest, but because of what we stand for. Keep in mind, we do not service outside of our service areas. We do not provide just materials or just metal building kits. We don't just do concrete or spray foam. We do full turnkey Texas metal building projects. If you fall within our service area, contact us today. If not, I hope our channel can help you with your metal building project.
Jared, 30 by 40 is one of the most popular sizes, and here we have a little bit of a different size, but you're still able to fit two, not just any vehicle,
Two Mercedes.
And we can still fit them in
And a
pretty
Chevy.
good.
And a Chevy.
And a Chevy. The Chevy's not in here, and if you can guess right now what kind of car it's gonna be, man, it's because it's gonna be similar to this kind. But this is a Mercedes, and then wow, with the car lift, and this is 25 foot. You can still fit. You can work with this.
Yeah, I mean, it's still a great size. You know, like obviously you're trying to work within the size you have.
Yeah.
Probably could have went a little bit longer, but you know, I'm sure this is perfect for his application.
Yeah, because if you like walk around here, like so obviously the car lift's in the way, but let's just say the car lift wasn't in the way. You could still open one door, open the other, and then on the other side, we got some tools, some bench. We got some toolboxes back there that's still fitting inside, and then we still have right around like 10 to 15 feet of still space here. I know a lot of our clients are car guys, so this is definitely a dream garage for a car guy that likes to, fix up their cars, work on their cars, and have it, on their residential property. But this is a two-post lift. You can see how it fits nice, right on point.
Yeah, I was gonna say more like right on point.
Right on point.
It's like, let's say if it was just a little bit shorter, he probably would have had to move it more towards the center, right, to get that extra clearance from the pitch. So, he probably could have went a little bit more to the right. If it was a lot taller, I'm sure he could have put it exactly right on the edge. So
Yeah, 'cause we got 12 foot tall.
exactly.
12 foot tall. I spoke with their client, and he was telling me how he actually had it all measured out. all measured out, and with the rise of the pitch, he did that calculation, and he was able to make sure that this 2-post lift was going to fit perfectly. Because when he poured the concrete, he did do beams to support, because I don't even see any stress cracks around his concrete, which they did a great job. And so it was already planned that the 2-post lift was going to be anchored in those specific spots. If you're doing concrete with us, you let us know you're doing a 2-post lift or a 4-post lift. That way we can reinforce that section where you're going to anchor, especially a 2-post lift, if you're going to anchor those.
Yeah, also another thing that he was worried about is how far in the overhead door tracks go.
Why was he worried about that? What was the concern?
If you could fit a fan in, yeah, or if, like, let's say if it went in a lot more. Let's say sometimes it'll happen where, like, these tracks, they'll end it on this post right here. So if you were to raise that car up all the way, per se, yeah, where you wanted to, like, walk underneath it or something, it would hit the,
that makes sense.
it
So
would hit
your
the car.
2-post lift, like, has to be far enough to be away from how much your door goes, because it could hit the car.
Yeah.
Yeah, check out the podcast. It's a podcast style video that we talked about car lifts in the metal buildings. And James was our guest there, and you know, he's got a lot of experience working with cars. He had a performance car business. That was something that he did mention, by the way. Which in this case also, like, let's say you're not gonna have a two-post lift. One thing he does have is he has a fan here, and this is an aluminum fan that he said he got out of Amazon, and he said it's worked great for him, and I've seen it on a couple clients already. But something to really plan is that the fan, and if you have any overhead doors that are coming in, to plan for that, because you can see that the fan and the overhead door, the clearance is only about like a foot difference between the elevations of both of them. And he did say he wanted to add another fan to circle even more air.
Correct.
Another thing that he did mention that I was speaking to is I asked him, hey, your UFO lights, you have 4 UFO lights for this amount of square footage. Does this work for you? And he said, honestly, it works great. However, I would still like to add some bar LED lights more, because I'm working in the cars, and to be able to see the little details of what I'm working on, I still need a little bit more lighting. So that is something that he did mention. Usually what I've seen is about every 10 feet adding UFO lights is basically what I've seen in most shops lately. This is not just any Mercedes.
No, it reminds me of the Great Gatsby cars. Or if you see that movie,
yeah,
it's on my algorithm.
So if you are on a budget, that is something to keep in mind. If you're on a budget, you can definitely do. You can even do spray foam later. So that's something to say. Hey, you know what? I just want the shop first. I'm gonna save up, and then I'm gonna come back and do, you know, an additional. I'm gonna do spray foam, or you can do 1 inch and then do an additional later on.
The only thing is, you know, what would make it challenging, the client here, he had already obviously been moved in, you know, finished the building in February. It got spray foamed sometime in March 15th.
Yep.
He had been moved in, he'd been working. What ended up happening was we did the 1 inch spray foam like maybe 2 weeks ago, right? And a lot of the stuff he moved towards the center. Some of it he had to move out, you know, just to give us enough space to obviously be able to spray everything. So
that is just something to keep in mind. It's kind of like if you want to remodel the inside of your home, you're gonna have to move things around. You're gonna have to make things, you know, feasible to work around with. Alrighty, guys. So I hope you enjoyed this tour. I hope it gave you inspiration on a size of this and what you can do with it, and also just how you can, you know, fit a 2-post car lift. Any other things that you think clients can take away from this?
honestly, just what's possible. We had one client one time tell us, he's like, I'm trying to fit a 4,000 square foot garage in a 1,000 square foot space, you know, so that's kind of what he did with the lean-to over there. I mean, it's not a reduced space, but if he didn't have that backyard there, he would be pretty reduced. You know, I think he made the most of the space that he's got, you know.
And then obviously he works on beautiful cars. He's always at car shows. It's a beautiful Bel Air. I don't know what year is it.
It's a 55 Chevy Bel Air. Ask James for more info. He knows more. But that's all I know. You know, every time I come out here, you know, he has a different car in here that he's working on. And there's always a story to go with them. So it's pretty interesting.
That's so interesting. And so that's the beauty of doing metal buildings, that where it can allow, you know, our clients to, you know, to have a place to work on what they love to do. So aside from that, guys, don't forget the giveaway. Leave that comment, like, share, and subscribe. You ready to go back home?
It's cold.
To our headquarters. Fort Worth. Let's go.
What's up, Pack? Remember to stay up to date with everything that we're up to by checking out our social media. You can find us at WolfSteel Buildings for behind the scenes action. We share our latest projects, update on what the team is working on, and all the exciting progress happening in real time. Don't miss out on the action, and remember to give us a follow.
From city restriction to permits, this build had it all. Let's tour this beautiful metal building out in Prosper, Texas, and break down the cost.